Why is this game so quiet? Is that just me? Anyway, since no one's willing to play on the other simulators, the next best thing is here, I suppose. I'm at max audio. I just need to special summon. Alright, let's take a look at this. I don't have access code, but I do have both the goddess. Let's go with that instead. Maybe the deck can get away with only having one of those. The mole charmies aren't here yet, yeah. Did I save that? Finally, an opponent.
Contingency plan code, Nocturne. Subject, Dracula.
I'm gonna be watching a video for a bit.
In spite of this downside, must be of game determinative importance, either by virtue of an incredible effect or the ability to kickstart a chain of plays that lead to victory. Today we'll be discussing the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards that discard for effect, explaining why certain decks include them, and some of the valuable interactions they enable.
It's
And
Mermail.
at number 10, we have Morphing Jar, a classic flip monster. When flip face up, it forces both players to discard their entire hand and draw 5 cards. An iconic juggernaut of classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Far past its prime,
Visa
Morphing Jar was once
Starfrost.
considered a staple for its ability to simultaneously
Wait, that's it?
play your hand and push a game's tempo to extreme. Decks such as Teledan and Monarch often included it as a way to discard and draw massive amounts of cards, enabling powerful graveyard-reliant plays while reimbursing you for any resources you may have already spent. However, Morphing Jar is best known for facilitating Yu-Gi-Oh's first mill deck, Jar, named after itself and its partner in crime, Cyberjar, aimed at sending your opponent's entire deck to the graveyard by repeatedly flipping these jars using Book of Lily Taiyu. Empty Jar pursued the alternate win condition of Deck Out, which occurs when your opponent cannot draw any cards they're required to. While this strategy was incredibly annoying and resulted in the jars being limitless, Empty Jar didn't age particularly well, and is extremely risky in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! While most of the cards involved have since seen releases from the ban list, the speed of the game has progressed to the point where the deck is now considered extremely tricky. In order for the strategy to work nowadays, one has to build it like an FTK with the goal of repeatedly drawing the perfect hand of Jar and Book of Taiyu, and then concurrent books to reset and reflip the jar over and over until your opponent decks out. But if that wasn't enough, even if you managed to draw the perfect hands in order to pull the FTK off, you also have to account for the fact that you're giving your opponent the opportunity to dig 5 additional cards for an Ash Blossom or draw a Lockbird to stop your FTK each time you loop your jar. You also might accidentally trigger graveyard effects that your opponent used to interrupt you as well, obliterating you faster than Exodia. Despite only really being viable in 4 fun decks at this point, Morphing Jar remains limited to this day for its past primes. That being said, it's also a strong contender for a retro unhit in the near future, so keep an eye out for its rocky return. And joshing around to the number 9 is Paleozoic Dynamishcus, a normal trap card that allows you to target a face-up card in the field, and then discard a card. Then, when a trap is activated while Dynamishcus is in the graveyard, you can special summon it as a level 2 Aqua 1200 attack, which is unaffected by monster effects, but is banished when it leaves the field. Banishing any face-up card is an incredible effect, especially on a non-monster card, allowing it to out a myriad of targets with cards. But what elevates Dynamishcus from good to really good is the fact that it discards for effect and not cost. If Dynamishcus' effect is negated by something like an Imperm Column or a Samurai, not only is its effect banished negated, but so is its effect discarded. This makes it much less committal than it otherwise would be, allowing you to retain whatever card you would have pitched for other potential play. That being said, Dynamishcus is still a trap card living in the realm of modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's extremely slow in comparison to other newer cards, and therefore won't find its way into dedicated trap decks. By the end of those trap decks, Dynamishcus fills a role that no one really does. The discard is often an upside that allows for the cards like Absolute, Jack, or the arguably broken rollback going advantage. Here, Paleozoic has recently undergone a bit of a resurgence as a glacially slow control deck interactions with cards like Fantastic Rollback and Soul Dragons, and the standard tables like Statline and Level 2 Aqua enable Discus as path the Totally Awesome, a card stealing Omni-Negate, one of the best cards in the game. The main downside of Discus, so in general, beyond the regular trap card downsides, is the fact that their effects are summoned from the graveyard in response to a trap activation and can be easily chain blocked by any chainable effect. This can quickly and easily leave a Paleozoic player wide open for since they'll be unable to establish And tearing it up at number 8 is Card Destruction, a spell card that simply forces both players to discard their hands and then draw the same number of cards they discussed. Another classic staple, Card Destruction may appear worse than Warping at first glance, and pulls your hand up to the price discard, apparently residual card process. But on the contrary, the fact that Card Destruction is a spell card instead of a flip monster has allowed it to age much more gracefully. This small difference has allowed Card Destruction to find use in a wide variety of decks that would never consider more jars a way to dump large amounts of cards into the graveyard. Despite Card Destruction's inherent trade-off and motivation, that being the slot where Card Destruction itself was, the prospect of graveyard surpassing that loss in card isn't unreasonable. When you consider the value of sending 4 or more cards with an valuable graveyard back to the graveyard, it becomes pretty obvious why some decks don't mind stray. That being said, Card Destruction's effect is a double-edged sword, especially in best-of-3 scenarios with side decks involved. Well, you get to dump cards to the graveyard, so does your opponent, and they didn't have to waste a card to do so. This becomes a massive problem when considering handcrafts and silver side deck staples that could instantly turn, as at the end of a single activation of Card Destruction, your opponent has had access to the top 10 cards of the deck. However, you can use this against your opponent. Sheer advantage Card Destruction combined in combination with the cycle of your opponent's hand has allowed it to find its way in a variety of ways listed amongst Morphing Jar and dangerous enemies, as it also lacks a hard to return. A Morphing Jar is a high on this list of cards, and it becomes safely eliminated today. Card Destruction will likely remain as status for a long time, forever. And roaring into number 7 is Ken the Dragon, a level 3 warrior that actually requires us to look at a different card first in order to properly explain. Ken the Diamond Tiger is a level 3 warrior that, once per turn, special summon Ken the Warrior Dragon from your hand or deck to your field. This will trigger Ken's mandatory unsummon effect of the opponent's side of the field, which requires your opponent, uses you, to draw 2 cards and then discard 1. Alternatively, Ken the Warrior Dragon special summon again with Tiger to your opponent's side of the field, forces it to lower this and discard 1 card on summon. Special summon effect on both cards is a hard once per turn. They both share an effect that returns and battle phase. Ken and Gen may seem a bit counterintuitive the first time you counted them, but they have a wide variety of practical cases. Ken's on summon effect to draw 2 and discard 1 is the better out of the pair, functioning like a peaceful charity. A banned card that allows him to draw 1 and discard 2. This allows Gen to go card
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Cards, while also allowing you to pitch any card you might want that has a graveyard effect for free. In addition to generating advantage in starting plays, the Kenjin has an extremely powerful quirk. It gives your opponent a monster, and then forces your opponent to activate its event in phase. This small detail completely breaks 2 of its powerful Triple Tactics Talent and Price, which are balanced around your opponent having agency in the decision to choose whether or not they play into or around them. In combination with these 2 cards, the Kenjin allows you to add any normal spell or trap card from your hand, and effectively turns Triple Tactics Talent from a card that references some game cards into those game cards. 2023, and again saw a small amount of play in Congo using Solde as a way to use from the copy passive goal as a transfer circuit, blocking your opponent out of a special summon unless they await. The main issue with the Kenjin is that, while Solde is now banned, it now requires you to draw both again and then use your summon, which is simply too high of a price for the myriad of decks that would like it. And opening up at number 6 are the Gates of the Dark World, a field spell that gives all fiend monsters 3 attack defense and allows you to banish a fiend from the graveyard and discard a fiend and draw one.
You can still get Stardust Dragoned out. That's not Stardust.
Genta, a Gate Man of Dark World, discard from the graveyard in order to search gates. Itself is searchable by snow, unlike Dark World without border. Gates can then banish a Genta from the graveyard in order to trigger its effect to special summon itself upon being banished. Overall, netting you a discard, a draw, and a modern skill. While this might seem a rather manipulation, this is everything a Dark World deck needs to get its engine going on one of the most accessible cards, and the receiving end of a full Dark World combo lasts ever. Going first, the entire game plan of Dark World revolves around pulling off a massive solitaire combo that loops the effect of Cerulea, Dark World, and Sylvia Warlord. These 2 cards aim to shuffle your entire hand back into your deck before you get to single turn. And as a cherry on top, set an archetype on the gate to match whatever card you can draw at the start of your turn. Dark World also has access to a wide variety of second tools that allow them to distinguish themselves from most other combo decks that tend to get. And since their effects activate primarily in hand and graveyard, they don't mind and having an engine outs to a wide variety of the most powerful floodgates that currently see play. If these scenarios sound scary, that's because they are. But don't fret, as hand traps of the most common variety are the bane of Dark World's existence. While the primary hand and graveyard effects of Dark World cards make the deck resilient to target effect negations such as Effect Veiler permanents, a copy of Ash Blossom of Joy Spring responds to singular activation of the Lockbird, usually more than enough of Dark World player's turn with no interaction with it. While not currently a meta contender, since the game provides an average then some, is likely to be one of the first Dark World cards to draw the ire of the ban list should the deck ever get out of game. And gazing into the void at number 5 is number 60 to guard Timeless, a rank 4 PXE that requires 2 level 4 monsters materials to make. And as a hard one's return, and detach both of its materials in order to activate one of the effects at the cost of an overpowering downside. By skipping your next draw phase, you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1. By skipping your next main phase 1, you can special summon any monster from your graveyard in defense position, or by skipping your next turn's battle phase, you can double the attack of a monster you control until you turn. Defeating a deal with a time that you double, hence the power of making some of your next turn resources comes with the downside spinning of the effect active. All 3 of Degar's effects are valuable, but the most commonly used effect is the one that allows you to draw 2 cards and then discard 1, typically with the assumption that you won't next draw phase because they. Similarly to Paleozoic and Viscous, understanding interactions that discarding for effect as opposed to cost creates a vital to understand what decks use Degaras and under what circumstances they want to do so. While some cards aren't picky about how they're sent to the graveyard, others are incredibly specific about what conditions must be met in order to activate their effects. For example, the need to be discarded for effect or sent to the graveyard as a result of a card effect.
Here they come.
Enabling to play graveyard reliant strategies simply by virtue of existing. This has allowed Degaras to make its way to a wide variety of access to the desperation option, and will likely continue to see play for years to come. And feeding for the number 4 spot on this list is the Fiendsmith's Trap, a normal spell card that, as a hard once per turn, has a light feat from your deck to your hand, and requires you to discard a card. It can also, as a hard once per turn, be banned from the graveyard to fusion summon a fusion monster using monsters from your hand material. As an engine, Smith is already easily worth its own video, and that's in no small part.
Garden Roast Maiden.
Discard a card after searching. Just like Degar's, the ability to add first, pitch later
You're
is
kidding.
strong, but even more so in this case, because Trapped allows you to search a specific card instead of simply drawing cards. This allows you to plan for an optimal card to discard, since you can search and then immediately discard any light effect. Luckily for Fiendsmith, Fatal Worry happens to be a light thing with a single but game-breaking effect. This card is discarded to the
Man's
graveyard
playing all the
special summon a single level 1
Synchro era
nothing earth-shattering. What is earth-shattering?
monsters here.
An objectively broken monster that just so happens to require any single one. Instead of recommending the sequence, the Fiendsmith cards are able to engage in turns 6 and 3 and 4 and a wide variety of other and without requiring a portal summon. That was done teaching exclusive Necrofoot Princess alongside the Fiendsmith cards to fix a problem to be removed. For Fiendsmith's tracks functions interest on its own, in contrast to its prior status as a summoned card. This immense versatility allows for Fiendsmith Engraver, Fiendsmith's track, and Heaven to pivot and function between an image starter that starter plays, a protection engine that insulates all plays, an endboard piece that provides a double on game for the strongest forms of interaction within all and no small part thanks to Fiendsmith's track and Fickle Core. The Fiendsmith engine immediately dominated meta play of release, Snake Eyes, Link, and Steel as starters. In fact, it's gone so far that these decks have even begun to use a designator as a way to prevent their opponent not only from hand trapping combos, but from also resolving the Fiendsmith cards they all share as well. Well, if the Fiendsmith cards are so powerful, you might say, why aren't they higher in this list? The inherent reason for this is the Fiendsmith engine's fragility. Any one of the was disrupted by the this way, dismiss viability of its meta-warping super threat to tricky combo lines that are while it's expected that means this card will live for at least one new ban list, the thin robo viability angles prevents Kingston's track from overtaking the remaining tried and true winners of this list. And leaping into number 3 is Danger Jackalope, a level 3 dark beast that you can remove and have your opponent discard a random card from your hand. Then if this card was not Jackalope, just special summon Jackalope in card. Or if it was Jackalope, you can special summon any danger monster from this position. However, this special summon from deck can return. Based on various cryptids and mythological creatures, dangers are easily the best gamble archetype ever printed. Their effects are revealed, summon, and draw are not once per turns. Only their discard effects have been once per turn. They also discard cards for effect and are all dark attribute, which makes them synergize with darkness as a way to draw even 4 cards in decks like Darkwood. Originating from America as a hybrid background, Antelope, Jackalope is the best danger. Special summons enough danger. Large legal quantities, Jackalope easily enables rank 3 and Link alongside Dangerous Tsuchinoko simultaneously. And in fact, danger monsters in general are incredibly dangerous for the game quantities. It turns out that 12 or more walking upstart goblins in the deck that finds these cards in the graveyard indiscriminately enables MPKs and metadecks alike, allowing dangers to play central role of some of the most collectively agreed upon is why Jackalope, Tsuchinoko, and Nessie have all spent time on these characters, building instant win for enemies and Shinri monsters in the past, must have restricted generic monsters used for the best dangers themselves. However, as the meta goes progress over time, the ability to draw death and traps and starters has been centralized as opposed to the handful of enemies. It's been quite a while since Jackalope was living, and since dangers barely see play Master Duel restricted, Jackalope and Tsuchinoko may find themselves released from captivity and set free from wild in the future. And last at number 2 is Branded in High Spirits, a play spell with 2 effects that share a hard line between them. When activated, it allows you to reveal a monster in your hand and send a level 8 fusion monster for 25 active events from your extra to the graveyard, the same type as the revealed monster. Then you can discard the revealed monster and add any monster that mentions Mono Balbaz from your deck to your hand. Alternatively, if Branded in High Spirits is in your graveyard and a fusion monster is sent to your graveyard for return, you can add it back to your hand here. Branded in High Spirits does a lot. It can play into quite a few different decks due to the variety of utilities that searching for any monster mentioning Albaz can provide. Searching Albaz itself also adds starters such as Kid and Diamond Gwen the Virtuous, or extenders such as Albion the Shrouded Dragon, and of course Artesia the Virtuous. It can even be used to add Tri-Review Courier, Branded's in-engine hand trap if you're ending with a complex fusion on hold. Branded in High Spirits utility often allows good Branded players to play for the Ash Blossom on Branded Fusion, and also gives them a second target for Albion. Dragon's Enemy Search to raise the ceiling for headboards while also securing follow-up. It also sees use in Spriggans as a starter by sending Spriggan the higher Dragon from the deck and adding Spriggan's Kit as a rank 4 extender. This lets them properly mix Spriggan's Berrymaker and Gigantic Champion Sargass to dump and search Spriggan cards from the deck, while also summoning Spriggan's Captain Sargass to get base using the first graveyard. High Spirits also saw play in Branded Tillman, and spelling a discarded Tillman monster for effect while extra polishing Tillman's performance. Set up easy Tillman's hit pillows while adding any of the numerous splashable monsters to your hand, all without putting any monster skill to play things around distance. However, while Branded in High Spirits is an incredible consistent card and engine is all effects and more, it doesn't quite hold up to the impact that next cards have on Yu-Gi-Oh! Skyrocketing an entire archetype from barely rogue to tier status alongside the boss monster release inside of it. And lounging at number 1 is Purely Sleepy Men, a quick play spell card that nullifies the next instance of battle effect damage you take and allows you to cut a card and special summon a level 1 monster. Yeah. Also, any purely instance monster that has purely sleepy material and has its on once per turn, draw a card near your opponent's standby phase. Similarly to all the danger monsters' shared effects, all of the play spells share the ability to special summon a monster from the deck at the cost of a discard in addition to its own. Both main deck purelies use these scrapbook memory to summon purely MCs for fight spell use, with each spell providing the unique buff to the purely MC's monster they're attached to. Purely Sleepy Memory allows you to summon
Oh, shit, I don't have Bantan.
which is both a breaker that returns your focus cards to the hand and a setup piece that sets a happen. Sleepy Memory's buff is also the best out of all memories, allowing you to draw a card as a stop once per turn.
Should added Bantan first.
This allows you to draw cards
Too late now.
3 copies attached, and up to 6 if all Sleepy Memories are attached to the same disease, and then you might see summon an X-Billy Noir on your opponent's standby phase using Purely. This also grants that Noir straight target protection for the turn, in addition to being unaffected by other artifacts, which can method that spends its materials to shelter your opponent's cards into attack, therefore using its unaffected status. However, discarding for every purely summon can put your hand in difficulty, especially in the face of hand traps. Conveniently,
I meant to add Bantan. God damn it.
Special summoning happens to be discarded by effect, resulting in many purely pilots and dedicated series of bricks, explicitly as discard card, advantage lost by the constant target, colloquially called Sleepy Memory has found itself at various positions, the TCG, OCG, and Master Duel Limited and Seven lists for its ability to draw additional cards and set quantities of Sleepy Memory almost directly correlates to the tiered status.
Fucking Maxi.
Setting it further ahead of every other card on this list.
I lost against Galaxy Eyes that one time. Stardust was an easier win, I suppose. But I could have won against Galaxy Eyes as well. I just misplayed very hard.
Giving away free boxes. Comment down below, cool and mysterious, you'll be entered to win a free box. And follow my Twitter for more box giveaways.
Let's play one more and then I need to go do my dailies in Genshin and stuff. No Maxi, please. They don't have any negates. Hehe. It's full combo from here. That's guaranteed. Unless... this will be my 5th summon. They do not have Nib. It's full combo. We're gonna be here for a while, folks. Because this is fucking Megalith. We're gonna combo to hell and back for the most mid board you'll ever mid your eyes on. Oh right, I couldn't add. Might not have a negate here. Abyss Dweller pass. It's Raid Raptor. I'm still triggering this. What? They lost connection. How annoying. Could they have gotten Benton there? No, it was impossible. Keep going. Whoa, that is a big deck. Oh, wow. Time Maiden Bluff. Time Maiden Effect. Well, shit. I actually lose if I play here, so, normal Zaphion and hope for the best. I suppose. They're playing a Horus engine. I'm following so far. Alright, and now they're playing Kashtiras. Theme scene mare. Retirement. Oh, this is pretty cool. And a fusion kit, Carlos. Of course. Daring today, aren't we? Right, so I'm not gonna win this. I know what the end board of this is gonna be. And there's gonna be a lot of cards and there's gonna be a lot of text, but realistically all the cards need to say is I lose. There's Kaleido Heart. Hilariously enough, that's it. Cross sheep. They have lethal. Just fucking do it.
The competitive ladder on Master Duel currently has 4 ranks, with each rank being broken into 5 numbered tiers. Platinum Tier 1 is the highest rank achievable, and with the right deck and a bit of skill, getting there is actually pretty easy. What if you don't?
Theoretically, if Max C wasn't resolved,
absolutely terrible.
I still wouldn't have been able to win, but I would have at least been able to set up my board as well.
That's exactly what I need to find out. Each month I take a new strange deck and see exactly how far I can push it up the Master Duel ladder. This month's deck is the Egyptian Gods. Anyone who's seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is familiar with Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. In those shows, these fearsome beasts were the ultimate monsters, nigh invincible and capable of defeating even the strongest opponents.
I think we should end it there.
Anyone who's played the actual card game knows that these things are stinky goop. Not only were their real-life effects much weaker than their effects in the show, but by the time they were actually released, the game had moved beyond their ancient playstyle. Getting into Plat 1 with these things is actually going to be a very difficult challenge. But I've played Jank before, and I'm confident in my ability to at least get close to the ultimate goal. My patrons gave me the challenge of making an Egyptian god deck that can get into Plat 1. And after looking over the gods and figuring what synergies they have, I came up with this. Don't leave. It is I call it Numeron Gods, or Numera, because it's a Numeron deck that has Ra in it. I mean, it's not just a Numeron deck. We're playing quite a few Egyptian god supports, and there is actually some synergies that I'll go into later once we build it. I realize
What if I
that
made
doing this seems
Megalith a
kind of
hard-going
cheap. I
second
promised you an Egyptian
deck?
god deck, and Numerons are most likely going to carry the weight of this. So that's why this is not actually the first build I'm going to be making. This is what we
Since I
eventually
can't run
want
hand
to end
traps,
on.
I may as
I'm going to
well
open
run
a bunch
going
of
second
packs. We're going to
cards.
get the Egyptian god
Right.
stuff as much as I can. And then our first build is actually going to be a more pure god deck. And I'm going to see how far I can get up the ladder with that. And then once we reach that brick wall, we're going to break out the Numeras and use that to hopefully push our way into Platinum, maybe even to Platinum 1. Numerons can do it, and Ra actually helps them out a little bit. So let's open some packs and see how this goes. Okay, so we're going to generate our one free pull
More
with
Labyrinth.
the Ancient Chant. This should unlock. Yep, one free pull, baby! Everybody gets one, and this will unlock the pack that has all the gods in it. It's got Sphere Mode, it's got all three, it's got Egyptian God Slime, Exodia, so if I ever want to make an Exodia deck in the future, we've got that. Really not a whole lot, but pretty much everything that we want we could get out of that. So let's go ahead and do our one free pull, see what
She's
the hell
the boss
we get.
monster? I was under the assumption it's...
Great Beast of the Sky, Hear My Cry. Well, we got one super rare, but it's not from the
And
pack.
fucking Destiny board.
Stardust Mirage, alright. And nothing else.
Necrofear Labyrinth.
Obliterate!
I don't
and
think it can
now,
work.
let the main game begin.
Because a Destiny board is a shitty alt-win condition. What alt-win condition is good? There is a good alt-win condition, it would be banned. It's really that simple. Unfortunately.
We got our first Sphere Mode, baby! It's Sphere time!